So you're really moving through the world as a priestess. And as a priestess, you're going to be called to sacrifice all the time. People are going to call you at the wrong times. It's just not the time for it. You know, but that's a part of what this work is. You know, so I would look at it like that. When they come in and annoying you like that, just, you know, sometimes you can sacrifice it, sometimes you can't. But when you're sacrificing something, you're making it sacred. So you're making something that maybe that person was presented to you in terms of the energy, it's very profane. Like, to me, what he was saying was profane because it was all about ego. But by me maintaining a purity and giving him my time, I made that moment between us a sacred moment. That's a sacrifice when you make something sacred, you know. So just look at it as an offering. And then later, when it comes time to do some spiritual work, you don't have to give up all that blood, because you done already gave up all that time and energy. That's how you build up your chi.
I agree. I had an experience once, and a guy came to me. I don't know if I told you the story, but the guy came to me and said, you know, there are people out there, I think I did, who could stop your heart. And I just looked at him, but I was in such a calm state, like, what? And the spirit came into me, and I straightened up, and he broke out in the sweat, because I didn't receive all that fear that he was trying to put in me. I was just like, wow, where does this come from? And I was just like, I've come with that experience, and plus been in a raised with a dominant female that was overpowering female. It caused me to walk in calm, and I noticed that when the more calm I get, and not receiving the negativity, or what I call negativity, that they get upset, and it's just like a transformation of them. It's like, it's not that serious. So I did have a dream, a vision, a dream. It was like I saw a black person, a black male. Sorry about the word black. And it was like he was in the mirror, but he had this candle. He had this red candle, and on his shirt was of what you call those tie-dye shirts. It was just different colors and circles on the tie-dye, and around him was some more black people. And it was just like he was looking in the mirror, he smiled. And I heard you talking on your radio show last night about the red candle and looking in the mirror, and I just thought that was very, like, I was connected to this person at this particular time. I didn't feel anything evil, or I just thought it was an unusual vision that I had.
With the tie-dye. What did you get out of it?
It was like before I'm seeing more African Americans or people now in my visions as opposed to before. A lot of times I would see Asians and then white, Caucasians, and now just in this process, in this particular circle, this particular season in my life, that I'm seeing a lot more. And I found that he was doing something of some kind of spiritual work, and I perceived that he was doing some kind of spiritual work, and he was looking in the mirror and trying to find some insight. And basically, I wasn't fearful about it. I was just it was curious because he had a red candle. And that people who I see, regardless of what energy they're putting out, I'm not as fearful of that, because I don't believe that I'm scared of death as per se, dying, grave death. I'm not scared of that. It's just the point that these people come, and it's like transformation, some kind of transformation coming for growth. I received this growth.
I guarantee you, those visions that you're having, you have entities who are asking you for help. Just like the people who come when you're trying to get something done and they're irritating you, it's because they ultimately need your help. They need you for something. Sometimes we have a little trouble with that. We think about even extraterrestrial life forms. And we have a hard time understanding that, for the most part, those off-world beings are praying to you. They're praying to us. We're the stars. We're the light that's showing up on this mystical planet of Gaia, or as they call Earth. So when you're seeing visions and things like that, somebody sitting in front of a mirror with a candle, that was for you to come in and give them some information. You know, in the same instance, somebody, you're trying to do something, somebody comes and annoys you. You know, it may be one word that you say, like you said, you sit there and say, okay, when somebody's not annoying you, when they bring you something good, but maybe they need that same response. But these people are calling on you for help. You're going to see, the deeper you get into this, especially like when you, like you said, you're interacting with trees and things like that, different way, you're going to find the deeper that you get into this, you're going to hear them calling out to you for help more. I remember years ago, I used to jog in down here in the city in Central Park, and on the halfway point of my run, I would pour libations at this particular tree, and then I would jog back. And I remember one day running through, and it sounded like I was in the middle of a battlefield, and I'm hearing like boom, boom, boom. But I know what gunshots sound like. So it sound like cannons or something. It sound like doors slamming, stuff being dropped, and cannons. And I'm hearing the trees talk to me as I'm running by, and those trees were so disgruntled. They were so angry. And I'm coming through, I'm like, man, what's the problem? You know, and they just started building me. It was like, they were just really upset with a lot of stuff. And then I remember years later coming through there, and not hearing anything. And I'm going to the trees, and I'm saying, man, these trees are empty. Because what happened was, a lot of the trees left. I mean, physically, the trees are there, but the actual tree is gone. Just like we're trying to figure out what happened to the bees and the birds, and they all left, and we can't figure out where the bees went. They left. They went to another place because it's not happening here. So you'll find that there's always an underlying energy, and the more that you start communing with nature and things like that, they're going to be calling on you for things, or just giving you heads up, like, look, we're getting ready to get out of here. We're going to do like the the Mayans did, we're the Olmecs, we're gone. So you want to start really tapping into that a bit more and seeing it as a priestess work. Definitely. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for your words. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Sister Doris. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. All right. Beautiful. So yeah, that's what it is. What it is. People can be how they are, and sometimes they serve an excellent purpose in our work because they hold up that mirror. And like I said, and even that elder, maybe him running and rattling off, it was a mirror for me, because it made me say, hey, maybe I need to just have a talk on positive affirmations. Maybe sometimes I get excited about what I'm talking about, and I'm going over people's heads, and I need to pull back, because I'm always pulling back when I'm doing these shows and stuff, but maybe I'm not pulling back enough, and I need to break it down even simpler, because like I said, he had a preponderance of information. I'm like, man, he's dropping it. He told me about I used to write a lot of books and this and that and that, but then a lot of people stole my books, and he mentioned some of the authors who plagiarized them, which I'm not even gonna feed that rumor mill. But if there even is one, it might just be a rumor mill in his own head. But there's always a value in those interactions, even when the annoying ones, they let you to see, well, maybe I've been like that at times. Maybe I've done a workshop where I've just kept going and people are there falling asleep and not picking up on the information. But anyway, we're going to take another caller from our area code 651, Sister Gloria from a 651. She has a question or comment about affirmation, self-actualization, steps to balance negativity. How you doing, sister?
Hi.
Hey.
So you talked about visualization and for positive affirmation, but I have, which is hard for me to do, but what isn't hard for me to do is visualize negative things. For instance, if one of my kids leaves the house or something, I visualize something terrible happening to them you know, and I visualize like their whole funeral, and I even cry like if they actually died and I'm going to have to go to this funeral, and I just visualize the whole thing. Or if I want to do something to someone, I visualize me actually, okay, what method am I going to use to hurt this person? I like go through the whole thing. So how do you stop those thoughts? Or, yeah, I guess, how do you stop those thoughts is my first question.
Why would you want to stop them?
Question.
No, let's go to the first one, then we'll go to the second one.
Oh, okay.
Why would you want to stop those thoughts?
Because it's hard. I mean, I don't want to have to visualize a funeral for
okay. Why do you visualize? What are your children doing that would make you visualize that?
I don't know. I just feel like something horrible is going to happen.
Give me an example. Give me an example of things that you visualize.
Getting hit by a train, or someone killing them, or
nobody gets hit by a train anymore. That's old school. That's back with Lewis and Abbott Costello.
Well, see,
That's old school stuff.
They just built a train line here, like that runs through the city, so it runs right through the neighborhood, and so that's why I said a train, because it's new to us here in the city. It's not a train. It's like a
They're not getting hit by that doggone train. That's you got to come up with something a little better than that. Nobody's getting hit by kids. Be jumping on and off of trains. You know that's old school stuff. You know. But anyway, I understand what you're saying.
Or you know, hit by a car or whatever. Someone kills them, shoots them, or whatever.
I've been hit by a car. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. I got hit by a car by a cable van back in the days. I was a kid when cable first came out. And the guy hit me and then yelled at me and drove off. I was messed up. I looked like ground meat laying on the ground. And he said, "What are you doing?" And drove off fast. I didn't know about license plates and stuff like that back then. I could have got some money. But yeah, that stuff happens. Okay, so you're afraid the children are going to get hit by a car. You're afraid they'll be tied to the train tracks or some crazy Keystone Capers
or just
thing
die. I feel like I'm going to get this call in the middle of the night and one of my kids is going to be dead.
So what do you do about it?
I plan their funeral in my head.
Right.
What I'm going to wear, what's going to happen at the funeral, who I'm not going to let at the funeral. And then I go through their whole death. I go through the whole process. Or if I feel like I want to hurt somebody or kill somebody, I go through the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to go get some gasoline. I'm going to pour the gasoline around their house. I'm going to light it on fire, and then I'm going to walk away. Or I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to get a knife, and I'm going to kill this person.
Take it easy. You're on the air. All right, take it easy. Take it easy. All right, we want you to have a SWAT team flying through your window right now. Just take it easy. This is a public forum. I get it. Well, let's keep those children out of foster care and keep you on the streets.
Right.
You have to be doing a bail party for you. Okay, so I get it. Now let's start here. Has any of these things happened?
No.
Okay. Is there any follow-up that you've ever executed? Don't say what it was, but have you ever physically went and did any of the things that you've pictured? Okay, right. So you're obsessed with things ending. You're obsessed with things changing, which is really what it is. You're preparing yourself for death. How many children do you have?
4.
You have 4 children. Okay, so you got a lot of children. They're all young, real young. Or some of them are out the house. Okay.
Yeah, all of them are grown except for one.
Okay, all of them are grown except for one. And the ones that you picture these things happen, is it all of them or just 1 or 2 in particular?
3.
It's 3 of them that you envision that happening to. And what do you do for fun?
Nothing.
I know. I never ask a question I don't already know the answer to. What would you say your life purpose is?
I don't know.
Right, exactly. This is the problem. The problem is not your visualizations. Your problem is that you've now made the reference of your own power. You now are using your potential to destroy something as to how you gauge how powerful you are, because you haven't stepped outside on your purpose to see what you can build. Like you said, well, the positive affirmation, that's no problem for me. If that was no problem, you wouldn't be calling in, because you would have balanced those negative and I'm not even going to call your visions negative, because I don't feel that they're negative, you know, but you haven't balanced those ones that make you uncomfortable with ones that do make you comfortable. There's a lack of balance because you haven't stepped out on purpose and you don't do anything. So you were probably engrossed in the raising of your children. And now that the children are gone, you've now taken on this new child called fear. That's become your new baby. And you're cultivating this baby and you're developing this baby because you don't have any babies left. You want to go have some more children?
No.
Okay, so you're done. But you have one now. So now you have to replace that maternal energy and those maternal activities that you performed before. You have to replace those with activities that are more in alignment with your purpose. That's what you're afraid of. That's where the fear is coming in. You haven't stepped out on that.
Which brings me to my second question.
All right.
I think I ran over my break too. I'm sorry, high frequency producer. I think I ran over the half-hour mark. I am listening.
So my second question is, if I'm working with a priestess, but I feel like it's not going in the direction that I want it to go into, if I schedule a reading with you, what are the steps that you take? Like, where do you start from? I don't want to just jump into what
we're talking about right now. Listen, let's do this. Let's talk like this. Let's talk frankly and candidly. I don't know who it is you're working with. I don't want you to say a name because of what I'm getting ready to say. I don't want to seem like I'm saying something. But you're sitting there having these crazy visions and you're working with somebody. Those two don't make sense to me. Why hasn't this person resolved this issue?
Because I have a lot of issues.
Yeah,
and
I think you've called in before. I knew you had a lot of issues when you first got on the phone. I'm sure people listening heard it too. The whole energy you came at me with. I said, "How you doing?" You didn't even tell me how you doing. You said, "Yeah, well, hi. This is what I'm talking about." You didn't even tell me how you doing. You know what I mean? I already know you got issues. But anyway, it's not about having a lot of issues. We have to put them in proper priority. If you're creating a reality mentally where your children are being whatever, and you're doing whatever to other people, I'm not even going to reverberate it, but you know what you just said. That needs to be dealt with because that's the vibration you're bringing into your spiritual work. I was just talking about this. It's the mental germs that carries over through our emotional work that comes into our spirits. So even if you do a spiritual bath, you're still bringing that reality into the bath. Whatever it is that you're doing, that you're accompanying with your emotions. So that should be dealt with first. Now you're asking me if you got a reading by me, what we do, you're saying? Because you're getting counsel right now that I bet you already not going to apply because you asked me about a reading. But go ahead, what were you saying?
I guess I'm just trying to figure out my whole purpose. And I'm getting a lot of information, and it's like when I first learned how to do a certain dance. I go from this person to that person, and everybody's telling me, oh, no, that person's not doing it right, or that person's not good for you. You need to do it this way, and they didn't teach you right. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, and why my spirits aren't talking to me, but they'll talk to you or a priestess, when I just want them to talk to me and tell me what I need to be doing, where I'm supposed to be at. And the reason I came on the phone like that is because it's just like, okay, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. Like I feel like I don't have time to really, do all the small talk. I need to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing in this life so I don't leave this earth and not have done anything.
Yeah, but that's not small talk. See, I'm gonna tell you the one good thing about me. I got this mechanism in me. When people cry, I get meaner. Tears just make me mean, so it's good. So when people cry, I get real clear and real mean. So that has nothing to do with small talk. It has to do with relationships. So if you're not cultivating clear and healthy relationships in your human form, why would you think you'd be able to cultivate a clear and healthy spiritual relationship? You got to look at the divination you just did on yourself. Look at the reading you just did on yourself. I reach out, hey, how you doing? You say nothing. So that means you're not even listening. You just want what you want. Well, how do you know spirits are not trying to have the same thing with you? Everything you should be decoded. Everything is a sign. Don't toss anything to the side. It's all a sign. What's on the inside is going to manifest on the outside. There's no way on this planet, in this universe, using any calculation of how spirit works, that a spirit is going to speak to me, a spirit that works with you, and not speak to you. No way. Because even when I'm doing a reading, I'm only speaking to your soul. So if other people are giving you all this information, one of two things are happening. The spirits are speaking to them while concurrently speaking to you, but you're not listening, so they have to speak to them as well, or they're making stuff up. Because you know people do that.
Yeah.
People will make you think they're much more connected than what they really are, and then you'll feel like your self-esteem will be knocked by that. Because like, well, man, why am I not having these? I'm not hearing clear voices, and I'm not seeing lights light up in front of me and aliens coming and talking to me like everybody else. Because people lie. People are not having the profound experiences like you might think. But you have a base and an underpinning of fear and dejection that has to be handled first. And as far as people telling, well, this dance is wrong, I don't care nothing about that. People just say whatever they want to say. You have intuition. If you didn't have any intuition right now, you would have hung up the phone by now. You'd be like, who this man talking to? You hung the phone up. But something is telling you, no, he's right. That's your spirit talking to you. Don't let people rob you of that. Don't let people, that's why you're still clutching and reaching for something external to do, and it's something external to manifest in your world. Meanwhile, the spirits that are there are being choked out by these little beast babies of fear that you're coddling and holding on to. You've been consumed by your own negativity. Negativity is good. All that evilness you have, I can tell you're very evil. I can hear it. Everybody else can probably hear it too. You're an evil person. That's cool. We need evil people. But the evil people, because you ain't more evil than me, I'm evil too. So evil recognize evil. But you got to balance it out with the goodness. And the goodness takes more work for those of us who were born like that. You got to work towards that. But you can't be consumed. Right now, you are drowning in a pool of your own psychic and emotional ability. You're drowning in psychic power. And it's clouded, and you got all these voices coming from all over the place, and you're not distinguishing them using your own intuition. Now, you done have 4 children. You got one of them who's still not grown. And the visions that you're still having are about tearing and destroying things. So maybe your purpose in life, you're a destroyer. You ever consider that?
No.
I'm a destroyer. I'm okay with it. If you listen to these shows I do, you very rarely hear me tell people how beautiful and great they are. That's not what I do. You don't hear me say, oh, well, listen, you go out there and you make the best of yourself and then you enjoy this world and go get you some ice cream and some malt liquor and this and that. You never hear me talk like that. What you hear me do the majority of the time is break things down, I break things down and I clear the way for people to do what they say they want to do. Like I'm doing for you right now. You tell me about somebody working, I'm saying, man, ignore that. See, that's me taking out my machete and cutting through the BS. And I'm trying to create a clear pathway for you to do what you're supposed to do. That's called freedom, when the pathway is clear. And I'm okay with that. I'm not the one that's going to hold your hand or say, well, tell you what, where are you at? I'm going to take a plane out there and I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to walk through the fields of daisies and we're going to do this together. That's not me. There's people who do that. I'm not the one for that. If you need somebody beat up or jump or pillowcase put over their head and then kick down a flight of steps, I'm your man. I do that all day. I could break stuff up all day. So you got to be comfortable with how your purpose is already unfolding to you, and all you really need is a proper channel. Right now, because the only thing that you've really channeled in your life has been your children, that's where you're now releasing all of the energy of that purpose. You're still sending it to them. You're still tilling the land, but the garden has already grown and the fruit has been picked, and you're still weeding and tilling, still pulling and ripping things up. No. You got to channel it somewhere else to a new garden. People always need protection work done for them spiritually. People always need things removed and reversed. There's a whole science just behind that. But you got to embrace some of that. And if you get a reading by me, the way it's going to go and the way it's going to work is the way it's going to go and the way it's going to work. That's what it is. I don't have a set. I work with people and I give them what they need, and everybody needs something different. And especially when people ask me that question ahead of time, I never answer it, because I already know now they're trying to box in the medicine. You can't box the medicine. You can't do that. We may get on the phone. I might tell you to sing the theme to Happy Days. If that's what's needed, that's what's needed. You remember Happy Days. Don't act like you know Happy Days. Yeah, with Miriam and Tom Bosley and everybody else. Yeah. They was having a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Having sex on jukeboxes and all that kind of thing like that. But, that's what it may be. That's what it may be. So you got to open yourself up to that. As far as whoever you're working with, you got to put the priorities forth and say, listen, I got these crazy thoughts going on in my head. Before I sit here and learn a bunch of dances and how to spin on my head while I'm singing to Oshun, I need to really get this equalized, because I'm bringing it with me wherever I go. And if you have that level of mental imbalance, as you're doing that spiritual work, you're only amplifying the imbalance. That's why African spirituality doesn't drive people crazy. Everybody says, oh, you're going to go crazy. It doesn't drive you crazy. You were crazy already. It just made you more crazy. That's why we have to deal with the mentalism at the root. And at the root, certainly spiritual readings you and I can do together. We can do some spiritual work together, but we need to deal with you getting a hold of that mind. I would do more mind magic with you. That's where the issue is. And unfortunately, I don't know your godmother or whoever, I'm not going to speak against them, but unfortunately, there are too many people who are involved in the spiritual community and who have put themselves forth as guides and teachers who have not picked up one book on psychology. And you can't do that. You got to understand psychology. Even if you go into a courtroom, there's books just on legal psychology. You got to understand psychology of the environment. So this is a psychological issue that's intertwined with the spiritual issue, and we got to handle it on both sides. You have any other questions?
Just that I'm really more confused now than I have ever been.
Hey, that's all right. You're starting from ground zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the reason too, you don't have a man. So you don't have any guidance in your life. So all of that watery feminine energy, you have no one to direct it for you. Same way how you got off. See, your whole tone is different. Everybody listen to the tone. See how pleasant she sounds now? Because, you know, I had to put that melanin, that base melanin on her. Once I put the base melanin on her, it aligned her molecules, and she said, okay, I know what path my water needs to go down now. Okay, here we go. You see, I could tell you don't have a man. I could hear it. And if you tell me you got a boyfriend, I know you ain't got a man. Okay, no, so there's a difference there. I know, I could tell. That's where a lot of that is coming from. See, a lot of times we don't understand how sick we make ourselves by not joining with each other. We got to have that balance, and people will tell you, you know, no, you just fine the way you are. And no, you ain't. You were made to have that order. You got a lot of power. You got these visions that come, and you're very comfortable with them. Because if you're able to do the funeral and who's not going to be there, that means you're comfortable going into that dark world. But you need that masculine energy to bring the balance. In my opinion, you shouldn't even be working with a female priestess. That's my opinion. I know the priestess listening probably would disagree, and they're probably hanging up now, whatever. But whatever. Yeah. You need to be working with the masculine energy to bring order. Someone who can cut through all of that nastiness you get on the phone with, and then bring you to what needs to be spoken about.
Well, two things. Last week you told me, when I told you that my priestess said that I come from a dark, I work in the shadows, that's my history, and you said, no, don't listen to them, you don't want to think about all that BS, blah, blah, blah. And
I'm still saying it because you don't even know what that means.
No, and that's what I remember what I said last week. And I don't know, and I don't know what it means. Right. And I don't want to think all these evil thoughts, but that's what I do.
Well,
so I'm trying to balance that in my mental.
Who says the thoughts are evil? You saying the thoughts are evil? Who says they're evil?
Me wanting to do certain things to people is evil.
Okay, all right. So you say it's evil. Okay, no problem.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know what shadow work is. And then the second thing is, I did have a man, and for 18 years, but then he just picked up and he left. So I'm dealing with that. He ain't just pick up and left.
You chased him off with all this mess.
Oh my God.
He ain't just pick up and leave. Come on, you gotta take some responsibility here. What's the difference between those two statements? He picked up and left, or you chased him off? What's the difference?
He left on his own, or I made him leave.
So what it means is that either it means that the finger is pointed at him, or the finger is pointed at you. Right? So how about you take some accountability and point the finger at both of you?
Okay.
Let me guess. You can't possibly see what you might have done.
No, not really.
I know. That's a part of the issue. And I'm not even just talking about the man. I don't even care about that. That's what's done is done. That's, you know, it's all over, Casanova. He's gone. But I'm speaking about you and being able to take ownership of your spirituality, your world, and your life. And you can only take ownership when you become accountable for what's going on. I'm not accountable. Some priestess isn't accountable. Some break dancer you met down wherever you was doing your dance class at, whatever, they're not accountable. You are. So even if I say something, I mean, you called in again this week, so obviously something in your intuition is saying, well, maybe there's something there for me to get. And like I said, when she said, well, you're a shadow work, unless that's explained to you, there's no point in saying it, because that's just going to bring more confusion.
Right.
That's what I said to you last week, and that's what I'm saying again this week to you. You don't hear me I'm not using all those spiritual terms with you. If you really listen to the things I'm saying to you, I'm speaking like we're just two people who ran into each other on a train and just started talking. We just talking like regular folk. Because that's the level of dialogue you need to have right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. You should contact me for a consultation so I can, really go off on you in private, because I can't really go off on you in front of, this is not my home. I'm on High Frequency Radio Network, so I gotta act right and everything. But yeah, so I really put some fire to you. Yeah, you should set up an appointment. All right.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was nothing. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I know it's rough. All right, so we got a little bit of time left, so I'm gonna and I know you guys probably think I'm a jerk, but you saw she was giggling and everything when she got off the phone. You heard how depressed and angry she sounded when she got on. You see, but I tell you, 80% of what I do is psychological. I got to put you in a certain mental space before I can even give you the medicine, or you won't accept the medicine. Now she's ready to accept some real medicine. She wasn't ready to when she first got on the phone. All right. So I got to become all things to all men to draw them. Yeah, you know where that's from. But anyway, we're going to go to our next caller, area code 609. Sister Ebony is dealing with repressed emotions. Area code 609. Sister Ebony out of Norfolk. You're on the line, sister.
Hello, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
All right.
I just had a question about repression. You were talking earlier about repressed emotions, and I've been dealing with that for like the last, I would say, 2 years. I made some decisions in my life that didn't work out the way I wanted to. And, it was 2 years ago, but now I'm still dealing with a lot of emotions. It's like they will go away, and then they will come back up. You get what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm done with this now. I'm not feeling like this. And then I'll wake up one day out of the blue, and for a whole week I'm dealing with this. And I'm like, I thought I was through with this. And I wanted to know more in depth how to start dealing with the emotions so they can just like be done with, because it's holding me back and it's making a cycle in my life. You understand what I'm saying?
I certainly do. Okay. And what you just did, you just did 50% of the work just now, because you've exposed them. The way you deal with repressed emotions is by shining a flashlight on them. You have to bring them out into the open. Okay? You can't use pronouns, and you can't use ambiguous language. And I'm not saying tell all your business right, especially because we only got about 5 minutes left in the show. I'm not saying to say, I cheated on my ex and this, but you have to create a space where you do that. The way you get them out is you have to really expose them. And it might be writing them in a book or sharing them or telling someone, speaking, like they say, confession is good for the soul. Well, there actually is some truth to that. There is some truth to that. Your emotions, you have to let them out, or the ideas or the experiences, the things that are happening to you. Because now what you've determined, you figured out that those emotions have become demons. And they're demons that are now coloring and tainting your various life experiences, because you've given them a place to live. Now, where have you given them to live? The shadows, the dark places. So once you shine light on a spirit, whether it's good or bad, whether it's a benevolent spirit or a malevolent spirit, when you shine light on it, its energy body dissipates. So if you want to get rid of a repressed thought or repressed emotion, you have to expose it to the light. You have to bring it out in front of people. And then you'll see that it won't have that same level of subliminal quiet rulership in your life anymore. That's how you deal with that.
I've done that, and I'm tired of talking about it, but it's still not going anywhere. Like, that's all I'm talking about it.
Yeah, but you're not being honest about it, and I guarantee you're not being explicit about it. You remember I said no pronouns, no ambiguous language. Okay. You have to be very direct about it. You have to when you're dealing with this type of situation, repressed energy, like, give me an example. What's one of the issues? Don't worry, nobody knows who exactly you are, so you can tell your business. And I just got to go ahead that I got a little more time. So
yeah, well, I left a very abusive job, and I thought I was making the right decision, and I was on the path to making things better in my life.
Explain abusive, please. Explain it to yourself.
Well, I was working for a job, and I filed a suit against the directors. And after I filed the suit, I went through like 4 years of retaliation, all kinds of stuff, things getting taken. I went through a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it was crazy. So after 4 years of dealing with that, and a lot of other things that I really don't feel comfortable speaking with, you know, on the radio, but I wound up leaving and trying to make things better. And it went okay for about a year, and then everything just fell apart. And for the last 2 years, like, even though I'm in a different place, in a different situation, I am starting to build again, I still live with the regret of that situation. And for me to explain it completely to people, I don't know how to explain it. I know you said I'm not explaining it right to people. That's why I'm not being able to let it go, because I don't know how to look at it. Sometimes I look at it like I'm...
Okay, so there we go. So let's pause. Let's pause for a second. So we just figured out, we figured out what's going on. Because when I first said it, you said you already did that. Now you're saying you didn't do it.
Doing what?
So let's...
spoke about it.
I said you have to be explicit, and you said I've already done that. I'm tired of talking about it. And now you're saying I don't know how to fully explain it to people. That's two different statements.
I do understand that, but it sounds
which is good. I'm not saying that to win. I'm not saying that to win an argument or to try to get you in a, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it to say that you just maybe inadvertently, without realizing it, you just pinpointed your issue. So there's a preponderance. There's a lot of information there, and a lot of things are maybe more detailed than you think a person really wants to sit down and listen to. Because you probably feel that you're not really, you don't look at yourself as being worthy of even being listened to at that level. So you got all this information here of what's occurred with you, and you have yet to actually expose all of it to light. So even the little nuances of what has occurred is still present.
I understand that.
So now, how do we express this in a way where you can now, I know that the music pumping. How can you yeah, you know, it's the Grammy thing, you know, when your speech is too long, they play the music. Yeah. But how do you express it in a way where you can itemize everything that you've gone through and detail it? How can you do that?
Painful. Confusing, like painful. You mean in one word?
No. How can you? All right, let's look at it like this. Yeah, it's gonna be painful. That's the choice you made. You hurt yourself. That's what you did. Okay. So now the ripple is still going on, because the lesson that you were supposed to get from that situation, you have not adopted and applied to your life. So the lesson now, it's like you're in hell. Hell. Is a cold place. Hell, you're in hell. Hell ain't hot. Hell is cold. Yeah, hell is when you're freezing. You're frozen in your thought, ways, and actions.
Yes.
And what happens is that those scenarios that you've created for your life, the karmic causes that you've created for your life, continue forward. They continue on. Okay? So now you're just living it out because you haven't accepted the light of information, of new thought to apply to the situation. That's hell. Hell is when people don't want to accept, or can't see, can't hear, can't understand the light of God. Mm-hmm. That's the situation you're in. So how do we start to get you out of hell? We got to itemize this whole situation. You have to write it out. Like if you're writing a dossier, and write this entire thing out. This is what happened. This is what I did. This is how I felt. And it may take you months to write it, but it doesn't matter, because things ain't been right in months. You got time. Mm-hmm. You really itemize it out, and you could either hand that to people, or you could just have it. You could write your own book. And then what you have to do is look at it like you're taking yourself back to school. You go back and you look at the things that you've done, and then you make a clear determination. How could I have responded differently? The key word is differently when these situations approach me, because what you're being called to do is to have a different karmic response than what you had previously. You have to have a different karmic response. You're responding the same way. Like, I bet you always run away. You're responding the same way. Yeah, I know. So that's why the situation is still overhanging and still happening in your life. Those emotions are repressed, but they're not so much repressed. They're very active in your world. They're what guide you. You have to write all this stuff down, you know, and it, like I said, it may take a while, and it's going to hurt because you don't want to rehash it, but you're already rehashing it anyway. So what's different? You know? And you got to sit now and then dissect and go back over it and say, okay, what should I have done different? What should I have done different? Because you're going to find that even though you feel like you may not encounter those situations again, each and every pivotal moment that you document is going to come back up in your life reality anyway. And then that's when you reference your what you just wrote and say, no, I seen this one before. Last time I did this time I'm going to do that. And then you're going to see when you start doing that, little by little, this issue is going to disassemble itself right in front of you. And that may take a year to happen.
Oh, Lord.
But, well, don't do it and then die with all this hurt.
I'm not, no, I can't do that, but it just seems like another year of things. And it's already
another year of improvement as opposed to a year of devolvement. Shoot, I'll take a year of advancement. I'll take a year of progression.
I understand that. So, yeah.
It's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse. Yeah, it's not going to get worse over. The hardest part of all of this is going to be you documenting it. That's going to be the hardest part. It's going to be you taking what I just said serious and actually doing it. You know, you probably won't do it though. You'll call back another 2 weeks and say, nah, I didn't do it yet. But everybody's listening. You going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
When you going to start?
I'm going to start today. You know what? I've already started writing little things, not about the past.
Yeah, no, we talking about a real thing, not them little things you've been putting in your phone and stuff. When you talking about them little rhymes you wrote about the situation, we talking about actually a bona fide document. You're going to start that document today. You're going to break it up even into chapters like if it was a book.
Yeah, I'm going to start that document today. I need my healing. I'm going to start writing it today. I am. I need.
Well, you don't need the healing. You want the healing.
Yes, I do.
You can live your life miserable. Some people live their life miserable. Okay, well then it's something you want. So if you want it, you only get out what you put into it. Yeah. That's how this thing works. So everybody has heard Sister Ebony. Those who are still on the phone, we've gone into archives where everyone has heard Sister Ebony say she's going to start that chronicle of her situations today. And I guarantee you, this time next year is going to look different. I mean, I'm telling you it's going to take a year, but it ain't really going to take a year. But I'm going to say that. Because it's really an instantaneous thing. Once you remove yourself from the mindset of that form of thinking. All right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And you can always call back. And we can do progress reports as you go.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
But you don't need to have that situation.
I just have one more question before we go. You... From the feeling that you're getting from me from the situation, was it a mistake? That's what eats me up. I mean, even though, was it the mistake of leaving that situation, or was it the mistake of, I don't know, never mind. I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the truth. You're right. It's better not for me not to say anything, because then you might hear some truth. That's a good idea.
No, I want to hear the truth.
No, you said never mind before I said, so I mean, I understand. Sometimes I don't feel like hearing it.
I want to hear the truth. Can you tell me the truth?
Hey, you ain't got to apologize to me. My situation is straight. I'm good.
I understand.
You know what I mean? I'm all right. Things okay over here. You know?
I do want to hear the truth.
Yeah, you reacted too impulsively. You definitely reacted too impulsively. Yeah.
Okay.
But so what?
That's
I mean, yeah, it ain't no big. So what? You know, you make a little mistake, no biggie. Just don't do it again. That's all.
That wasn't little. That was a big mistake to me, anyway. That was a big mistake.
It's a stinking job. It's a job. Who cares about a job? That's not important. A job is not important. You're
I know
much
the
bigger
job
than.
Not important.
So then it's no big deal. Don't put all of that emphasis on it. Don't do that. Okay. You got a whole life in front of you to make new mistakes. And hopefully you'll make some new ones. You don't want to repeat the old ones.
No, I don't.
You know, Yeah, make some new ones. Don't put that much emphasis on it. That's why it's see, that demon has done that to you. It's made you feel like it's all important. It's not that important. It's a job. It's a doggone debt factory.
Yeah.
So who cares? Yeah, it's just a factory of debt. Don't worry about that. The bottom line is that's something that your soul orchestrated for you to learn these lessons.
Okay.
Your soul even orchestrates your missteps. So don't get all wrapped up in it with your ego and feel like, oh my God, look at what I did. And no, it ain't about you like that. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right.
All right?
All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to start writing today.
All right. I can't wait. Maybe you let me read it one day. It'd be a good little, drama novel. But all right. Beautiful. Enjoy your day.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye. All right. So we went a little bit over, but I guess it's about the same because we started a little late. We started about 8 minutes later and we went by 8 minutes over. But of course, as always, thank you all who stayed on the line, and those of you who are listening, and let the people know who, you can go in the archives and get the rest of the show after it's put up. And we're getting ready to sign off now. This has been Chief Yuya on the High Frequency Radio Network. For those of you who want to check out my segments or my school, you can go to saduluhouse.com, SADULUHOUSE.com, and my show is Enlightenment and Transformation. All right. So I will speak to you all next Sunday, 11 a.m. Call in a little earlier this time, please. Let's get it. We're getting it. It's getting better. Every show it comes up a couple of minutes. All right. So until next time, this is Chief Yuya signing off. Give thanks. Hotep Pu.